You wanted some bad dates? Well, here it goes. These are some really, really bad dates. I didn't want his STD, so he rejected me. It's like those chicks with herpes. They're like, you want to hook up anyways? I'm like, nah, dude. I'm going to remember that hookup for the rest of my life, whether I like it or not. Pass. Edit. I forgot to add, it was completely uncontrolled. I mentioned he should see a doctor, and he said there was no point. There are meds that can control the symptoms and make it less likely to spread. Bro, you probably should put that at the end, but okay. My money's on herpes. Let's take bets on this. TLDR also should go at the end. I thank my lucky stars I've never had an STD. I don't judge anyone who has or has had one. This guy wanted to give me his after 5 dates. He rejected me because I did not want to share his disease. Now, it could be funny, you know, just a happy little case of chlamydia or something like that. If he's trying to give her AIDS, significantly less funny. So, I don't know if I should be laughing quite yet. So I met a guy online. I thought, wow, great, someone normal. You've been rused. We had a ton of fun. We did things that we had in common, including video games, sense of humor, being true foodies. We went on a few dates and things went great. One day, he texts me how much he likes me. He also disclosed that he has one of those gifts that keeps on giving. And I said, hey, nobody our age is gonna have a perfect body, and kept it at that. That's about the point where you probably should have dropped him like a hot potato, but like, nah, I'm not down for all that, dude. Anyways, the sexual talk progressed. He doesn't like rubbers. And even with a rubber, the likelihood is that I would have caught it from skin contact on like his nuts or the surrounding area. So I asked him about his expectations for me. He said he couldn't date someone who wouldn't have intercourse with him. I provided other options, but those weren't good enough. He needs to have intercourse or we will not have a relationship. Bro, OP out here taking one for the team. What are you talking about? I would have been out of there so quick. She's like, I don't want herpes downstairs, but I guess in my mouth it's fine. No! Stop it! As if to try to make things okay, he told me that his ex has it too. You're not making me feel any better. And she's in another relationship, so it's all okay. He also disclosed that he had a few other partners since becoming infected. The problem with this world. I hate it. Can we cleanse him already? Ventilate his skull? Just find somebody who's already infected. You know, I don't know why we have to go out here creating new cases. Ugh. And then he tried to convince me that I already have it. Last ditch effort. I'm not even kidding. I told him no. I go to my regular appointments and I get tested and I definitely do not have it. Also, I have a biomedical sciences background and am quite aware of how viruses work and progress. He came over to talk one day and told me again how great I am and how it is very disappointing that we can't work this out. This is not a thing that gets worked out. It's over. OP let him down far too gently. Go find somebody with a matching disease. I'm serious. There's probably an app for that. Later that same night, he told me yet again that I probably already have it, and I basically need to accept that. So I flipped my lid and blocked him. Yeah, finally. I would also like to mention that I put this on Reddit's AITA, and he said there's no point because there's really no asshole here, just a difference of opinion. What?
You're an get the out of here.
If we had been together for a length of time and had a solid future together, I would have probably considered intercourse at some point, but this was after 5 dates. I'm supposed to ruin my body for somebody I was casually dating? I don't think so. Good luck to his next victim, and I hope he reads this. We are coming out of the gate strong with this. I don't even know how to process this. It's a virus. I'm assuming herpes because that's funnier. I hope he's not trying to give her AIDS, dude. That's absolutely the worst thing I've ever heard. I have to wonder if the comment section is as like mortified by this happening as I am. So Jose the Conqueror says, oh my God, you dodged a massive bullet. He's definitely an a-hole. Okay, for one, I personally would use rubbers till I was exclusive with someone. Like we would have a talk and both agree to exclusivity. Until then, yeah, it's condom time. And two, I don't know where you live, but the right to an abortion is about to be overturned. Other forms of birth control aren't 100% effective, so you could get knocked up by this guy. I mean, it seems like an injection of personal politics there, but it's sort of within the vein of what we're talking about, tangentially. And third, probably most importantly, he isn't respecting your boundaries. This is so important. Dudes that push your boundaries are bad news. If anyone pushes back a boundary, like anyone, just tell them this is a boundary and it's not up for debate. If they don't drop it after that, drop them. He's a selfish a-hole. No one likes rubbers. They're uncomfortable and they make your junk smell like a balloon.
All right. No, not all right.
And look like a balloon too, I guess. But instead of sucking it up, he wanted to hurt you. This is the epitome of being selfish. Okay, actually fourth, him telling you that you already have it when you know that you don't. Yeah, that's called gaslighting. Look it up. It's just a fact. It's totally science. Go ahead. Promise swearsies. This guy is a prick and he sounds very manipulative. You sound smart and nice. And then Jose slid into the DMs, right?
Nice.
Run away and never look back. You got this. Some good advice all around, honestly. Jose also wants to add your title should be changed to, I maintained a healthy boundary and the trash took itself out. I mean, that's the best thing of all. No fuss, no muss.
Hefty.
The thought of someone just passing their disease around like chips at a party is so disgusting to me. Good job. Reading this made my skin crawl. Was he for real? I wouldn't even touch him with his hand. Seriously, I find it excruciatingly painful just sitting next to him, let alone bumping uglies with him. So good, at least I'm not alone. You know, this guy just disgusting, bro. I'm glad OP got away from this dude, but the fact is, you know he went and did this to something else. This is so pathetic. I hate it, but what can I really do from where I am except point at it and go, that is gross.
Disgusting!
You're a bad person and you should feel terrible. Anyways, moving on. TLDR, check for bed bugs first. It's a really short one. So last night I went on this awful Tinder date with a guy named Marcos. Disappointing for multiple reasons. First off, he didn't have a car, so I had to drive 30 minutes to him, and he wouldn't let me inside his house because he was scared of waking up his uncle. This is a 30-year-old man. Bro, the date's over already. He ditched the plans for dinner and wanted to go straight to a blowy.
How about you suck my c***?
Which would have been fine, I guess, if he had showered recently. He was also poorly endowed. Nothing wrong with that in and of itself, but he was talking, it's 8 inches, and it was about half of that. Marcos, play the cards that you dealt, bro. Just to top it all off, he was covered in bed bugs. So to summarize, no car, unwashed butt, tiny wiener, and covered in bugs. I mean, he got dealt a raw hand, you know? Some of these things could definitely be fixed, but, you know, I don't think he has the motivation to fix them. He's a 30-year-old man living with his uncle, okay? And I try not to judge people just based on that, but at some point, are you planning to get up and out? Like, what's your life trajectory? The comments seem to pretty unanimously say that, yeah, dude is gross, but we got one commenter, Forrest Behotch1, who says, it does sound gross, but do you really judge people / dates for not having a car? It's just unpractical, not a red flag like the other stuff. I mean, I'm 50-50 on that. Maybe having a car alone, but yeah, you pair it with this other stuff and it's just you're a walking failure, man. Taking a shower is within his means, but not everybody is financially able to own a car, or maybe it's a conscious decision of people to not own one because, you know, climate change and stuff. Basically, you're in the comments trying to make yourself feel better for not having a car. I agree with some of what you said, minimally maybe. But yeah, climate change. Pay more taxes and don't drive a car so the weather will change. I'm sure. One person's gonna really make a difference. Swiss Army accountant says not having a car would be fine, but he clearly wouldn't even use public transport to meet her. See, this is Giga Brain stuff right here. He should be capable of meeting her at their date location and not requiring her to pick him up. Honestly, it's just extreme lack of effort, much like everything else in his life, apparently. So yeah, it all goes hand in hand. I'm not saying you have to own a car, but it does help prove a few things to me. Bandycott says owning a car is a must. It's for comfort and easy transportation. If you don't have a license at 30 years old, then that person is probably pretty irresponsible. Like I said, it does send some massive signals. I don't know if it's 100% necessary, but I mean, in the States, especially California, everything's so spread out. You really gonna get on a bus, bro? Even in the Philippines, like, I got sick of riding public transport. Then Forrest B comes in with a pretty salient point and kind of rescues herself and says, look, assuming someone's irresponsible because they don't have a car or a license is shallow. There are many other reasons that are not always in that person's control, and expecting it from a potential partner is even more shallow. It's a fair point, but like I said, this combined with all the other things, yeah, I'm out. I can't do it. And then I'm sure people continue arguing, as does happen in the Reddit comment section. But the real takeaway from this story is stinky man, tiny wiener covered in bugs, okay? Moving on to the next one. Guy rejected me for dragons and then ended himself, or why I don't date anymore. For dragons? What? What are you talking about? Disclaimer. Okay, the title sounds a bit dramatic. I doubt the two incidents were related, but it was really hard on me at the time. And my brain was like, it's all your fault. I doubt it was because of me, but that doesn't make it any less traumatizing. This is a weird subreddit, bro. Why they put disclaimers and TLDRs at the beginning of stuff? I don't even know what we're talking about yet. TLDR. Classmate at my school talks to me, the weird girl, and we hit it off and have common interests. We go on a date that ends up with him straight up saying that he would only want to date a dragon, and then he ends his life shortly after. Yeah, he has some stuff going on in his mentals. That definitely didn't have nothing to do with you, OP. Unless you're a dragon that broke up with him. I shouldn't even joke about it. Well, this was around fall of 2021. I'm a senior in high school. I was 17 and he was 18 at the time. I'm autistic and I bring a comfort item with me to school. My Pinkie Pie plushie. I'm not gonna comment on it, it's fine. Go ahead. To help soothe me when I get overstimulated. We sat next to each other in English and he passes me a note asking if Pinkie Pie is my favorite character. We talk a lot through notes over the next few days and we moved to talking outside of school via text and Discord. We like the same book series about dragons, and he would let me borrow his copies so I could reread and discuss it with him. It's the first time that I felt that someone in real life genuinely liked me. Let's face it, I'm unattractive, sped, and in general just nobody's first choice. Well, not with an attitude like that, OP. Come on, get that confidence up. So yeah, I developed feelings for him quick and we started flirting. It wasn't really mutual, but he never asserted boundaries, so I decided to go the direct route and confess. I ship it, you know? It's almost a really romantic story, except for the end part where he commits Minecraft. What is this? He said he would think about it, and we scheduled a time to hang out at a restaurant that I like. McDonald's. I consider... I'm sorry.
Rock and roll McDonald's!
I considered it a date, and he said that was okay, which I felt was promising. He drove me there, which is a testament to how much I trusted this guy. We talked, and we were getting along pretty well. We had different political views, but I didn't mind that. He was still just as sweet and patient as always. He even visited me at my old job one night and brought me comfort food when I was having a bad day. There's a million fine-looking women in the world, dude, but not all of them will bring you lasagna at work, you know? I had my hopes up, but by the end of the date, he was obviously struggling to say something. I asked him what was up, and he put it off. We got to a scenic view by my house, and I was getting ready for some sort of romantic confession. I got a completely different kind of confession. He said that he wasn't interested in me. Well, I appreciate your honesty. Okay, fine, whatever. I am allowed to be turned down. But then he went on to say that he wouldn't ever date a person, only a dragon. What are you talking about? At the very least, as OP says, he did know that there was no such thing as dragons, and so he said that he would never be happy. I don't know, man. It's called settling. She's not a dragon, but I guess that's okay. Obviously, I was shaken up by this. I don't even remember what I said in response. He offered to drive me the rest of the way home, and I said, no, I could walk. He offered me a hug, which I also did not take him up on, and I walked away. Oh, OP was feeling a certain type of way, but who could blame him, you know? I was outdone on this date by fictional creatures. I only date succubi, bro. He texted me later apologizing. I was sulking a bit, so I think I came off as moody. Bad move on my part. I should have waited until I had a clear head. We had a bit of a fight. I opened up to him a little bit about some things as an explanation for some things that he had been upset about. Specifically how being autistic made me unable to take a hint, and then that was over. Cool story, bro. Things are awkward. We didn't talk much. Autumn break came, and then BAM! My mutual friend texted me saying he's dead. I thought it was a joke. Not seriously, but kind of in the way that I was panicking and in denial, but no. Soon after, the news comes out that he shot himself. There was a note or some other explanation left behind. It never reached me. The family was really private about the whole thing, all the way up to his funeral. I'm a bit sad that I never even got to pay my last respects, but I understand their decision to keep it family only. So yeah, that was the first and last IRL dating experience I had. Thanks for reading. Well, that's a bad track record. You got to get some other dates under your belt. Currently, 100% of your dates have killed themselves afterwards. Why did I choose to do this today? Why would anybody choose to come here? It's so weird. Story was a little bit hard to keep under my belt, but yeah, at least OP does know about her shortcomings and sort of seems to embrace them in a way. I'm probably just being unnecessarily mean. I guess we'll see what the comment section has to say. Zombie Cyborg says, look, please don't take the responsibility of his life and his pain on yourself. It was good of you to put yourself and your feelings out there. It wasn't wrong and it was brave. Anytime we take that leap with the possibility of rejection, it's brave and bold and stunning. I hope you know that you're worthy and important. You don't have to continue dating if you don't want to, but I hope it's not because you feel that you have too many shortcomings. It takes all kinds to make a world. You deserve to be happy. Bro, Zombie Cyborg's so much more eloquent than I am. I should just retire, bro. Why can't I say some inspiring stuff like that? Lil Chitlin's also inspiring. It wasn't your fault. Don't blame yourself for the inner demons he was struggling with. There would have been nothing that you could have done to help him. Don't let this deter you from dating. You'll find someone when you're ready. Well, comment's not as funny or enjoyable as I'd like, but yeah, they are offering some good advice to the OP, which I think is important. It seems like they could really use it, you know? I don't have anything more constructive to say about it, so we're gonna move on into the next one. It was never a match. TLDR, at the beginning again. Based on messaging, we should have not met. We did, which led to weird/bad first date where I was gaslit. And then the guy blocks me saying that I'm not interested in him and it's too much effort. Which might be true or not. I guess we'll judge it right now. So I match with a guy who lives in a different city. We have a few messages back and forth, and the guy asked me if we should meet up for a drink. I reply, I'm not sure when you're in my area, as I really didn't want to go out of my way just for a drink. He suggested that we meet halfway. Okay, fine. And then he suggests the city that was right next to his, which by no means was halfway for me. I would have to travel more than double the distance that he would. I Google Maps it to ensure that my thinking is accurate, and I explain that the proposed city is not halfway and suggest a different city that would be equal amounts of effort for both of us to get to. Then he replies that my geography is off. Okay, this is not gonna happen already. I provide Google Maps, which clearly shows that it's not halfway, and he doesn't apologize or admit that he's wrong. He still tries to tell me, it's a 20-minute train ride, when in reality, it would have been over an hour. And you're still gonna go, OP? You're still hoping to salvage this? The signs are all there. The cards have been laid out in front of you. It's time to go. He then offers to come to my city, but I feel like I've made the distance a bit of an issue and should back down. What? No, you drew your line in the sand. Stand on top of it. Die on this hill. Do it now. As it happens, I was planning on visiting the city that he lives in within a few days for something else, and I asked if he wanted to meet. So wait, you made a big deal about the distance thing and then you ended up going to his city anyways? You could have just told him like, hey, I go there for work or whatever it is. Oh man. Well, he agrees, and I suggest that as it's his city, he should suggest the place that we go for a drink. And he suggests that we meet in a square. Don't be a square, man. At first I thought that was the name of the restaurant, but no, it is literally a square. To me, that's like suggesting that you meet someone at Grand Central Station and just leaving it as vague as that. I then push back and say that I don't think it's gonna work, and maybe we just shouldn't meet, as people who give vague locations tend to have no intention of actually showing up, and it just doesn't seem to be working out between us. He says, no, let's meet. And from the square, then we can find a restaurant. I agree, while thinking that this already feels like an exceptional amount of effort for someone that I have not even met. When you get those feelings way down in your tummy tum, this is a bad situation, I don't want to be here, just roll with that, okay? I don't want to hang out in LA Union Station with you for 3 hours. Come on, we could go pet the drug dogs. I knew that I wouldn't be free until later in the afternoon when we were meant to meet. He says that he has something booked until 4, which I say is fine, as I didn't expect to be done before 4. He messages me around 2 saying that he's free. I say I'm not, and will likely be even later than 4, as my thing hasn't gone according to plan. He says fine, let him know when I'm free. So you would have been late to the date, OP. I mean, I guess it's sort of rude of him to text to be like, I'm done 2 hours early, but maybe he just was saying that. Not you have to be here right now, just, hey, I'm done now. I don't know, who cares? Can we get to the date part? That's what I want to know. So we agree on a time to meet. Obviously, I got lost finding the square, but I still managed to arrive before he does. I message him saying, okay, I've arrived, and he says, he has too, but we don't see each other. Again, this is what happens when you plan to meet in a vague place. When he does find me, he asks me if I found the square easily. I'm honest and say no, which he then blames me for, because it's straightforward from the train station. But I'm still thinking, why not give a specific place where we will go to have drinks? He then says, look, there are like more than 10 restaurants here. Where do you want to go? McDonald's.
Rock and roll McDonald's.
I find this odd. Why couldn't he have picked one as the place to meet and get a drink? We sit down and chat, and at no point does he take off his sunglasses, and we're not even sitting in the sun. Yeah, but it makes him look real cool. He's very monotone and doesn't come across as though he's even interested in the date. He tells me he was fired and is looking for a new job. Red flag. Maybe he's just being honest too, bro. And then he says that he wants kids. I absolutely do not. It feels like an interview for me to answer all of his questions whilst he says very little about himself. Well, maybe you should ask him some questions then. Flip the script a little bit? Or are you just sitting there waiting for him to be like, oh, let me tell you about me. He also mentioned several times that I was giving off many red flags in our messaging by constantly freaking out. And he wasn't even sure that he wanted to meet me. Is the term red flags just like massively overused at this point? You're not even being specific about what the red flags are. You're just like, nope, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. There's another one. It's like, what are you talking about, dude? Because he wanted to meet at the train station and wears sunglasses? Yeah, sunglasses, that's a red flag. I hate it. So this dude has one drink and he says, okay, I'm done. I'm ready to go home now. Like, I thought I was autistic, but damn. The bill comes, he doesn't even attempt to pay, even for his drink. So I pay for both, and he doesn't acknowledge that, which is a double plus mega huge red flag. That one, yeah, actually probably is. Then he insists on walking me back to the train station and hugging me, which is just so weird, because he's basically been gaslighting me this whole time. And I realize that there cannot be a second date. He messages me and says, I'd like to see you again, and provides his number. I reply and thank him for his number, but explain that I don't do those things outside of the app, and I'm not even sure that we're a match at all, because we want very different things. But maybe we could be friends. Yeah, that happens. Have you ever actually been friends with someone who said, let's just be friends? You've already soiled the relationship by asking for the date. So he says that he doesn't want to be friends. Hey, but he wants to get to know me more. What? I said I'd give him one more date, but not more than that. He asks why, and I explain that he wants kids, the distance won't work, and the drinks thing. Like, dude, really? A few more messages back and forth, and then he blocks me, saying I'm not interested and too much effort. It was one of the worst / weirdest dates I've had, and I still have no idea what he looks like without his sunglasses. Are you angry at him for saying that you're not interested and too much effort? Because clearly you aren't interested. And if the effort you're expecting doesn't meet the effort that he's willing to put out, yeah, you're just incompatible. It's not even that weird of a date, honestly. Met at the train station instead of a drinky place. He wore sunglasses the whole time and he wanted kids. Ew, how weird, he wanted kids. I don't know. I don't mean to go to bat for the dude, but like OP thinks her shit don't stink, and honestly, I'm not seeing that either. Y'all are both weird as hell, just in different, incompatible ways. So good, at least you know that now. Let's move forward amicably. Overwish says, what an awful date. Why is it awful? Probably because he didn't pick the place for a drink. That's really where all this started, right? You're looking for a real alpha male. It tells you we're going to this bar and you're drinking a tequila sunrise. Now shut up and sit down. Have my babies. And she's like, I don't want babies. And he's like, I'll tell you what you want. Stupid as hell, honestly. I would not have offered him a second chance. Next time, listen to your gut instincts and don't go. Glad you had a good escape. Honestly, that's good advice. Basically what I said, just phrased nicer. Some garbage does float says I basically had the opposite of this happen once. Had a date with a girl, we really hit it off. We went to a movie, she managed to seduce me. Yeah, that was probably difficult. And we hooked up in my car before we went to a drive-in restaurant. Then she texted me saying it was fun, but she really wasn't looking for much more than a one-night stand, and I gently expressed my annoyance because I made it clear from the get-go that I wasn't looking for that. I mean, that's what you get for banging on the first date, dude. I don't understand the logic here either. I guess she was dishonest, but like you didn't stick to your guns at all. Yeah, sure, blow me on the first date, but also, come on, I'm looking for something meaningful. Then she changed her mind a minute later, saying that we really got along, and I agreed. And then another minute later, she said it wouldn't work because I was already mad about her making the first date a one-night thing, and I would resent her. She just assumed how I felt and trashed the relationship, Lamau. That was really weird. That was really weird on both of your parts. I think that's one of the common themes in dating hell, you know? People think they're the real catch, when really both of you are making this worse than it needs to be, right? I don't know, I've probably been too opinionated on this episode. Probably there's gonna be some comments that are like, ReddX, how could you? I know, bro. Having opinions and feeling things, it's really weird. One more short one, and then I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Guys who knock up girls so they stay, question mark? More common than you might think. I've never dealt with this before. I was seeing this guy, A, we will call him. I'm going to call him Arnold. He and I were doing the situationship for 8 months until I put an end to it. Situationship. Ew! What? I hate that. Just call them friends with benefits like a normal human being, alright? We didn't speak for 2 months. I started seeing this other guy, B, we will call him Bozo. When he was drunk one night, he said how much he just wants to put a baby in me. Are we not gonna point at that and be like, hey, that's a red flag? Do you know that that's like one of the most common fetishes in the world? This is the reason that the human race has kept on going for as long as it has. I don't know if he's actually serious about it or if he's just saying some things. Then the next day, he casually says that his friend told him that getting his girlfriend mistakenly pregnant was the best thing he could ever do. Well, I guess he was serious about it. All right, that's weird. When I saw him again 2 weeks later, he didn't pull out, even though we had discussed it, and was basically like, oh, well, it felt good. My bad. Thank God for birth control. I fled the scene. Yeah, that's a real good test. Dudes out here like, I have to breed all the females. What are you, Henry VIII? You're 30 years old. You live with your uncle covered in bed bugs and your wiener stinks. Nobody wants your genes. That's why he doesn't discuss it. He just tries to give him a surprise baby. Also known as a rape baby. Yep, immediate ew for me. That's bad creeper vibes. Anyways, Arnold texted me a week after seeing Bozo and was like, I miss you, blah, blah, blah. And somehow the topic of Bozo came up, and I told Arnold how casual Bozo had been about knocking me up. And Arnold goes, well, our kids would be gorgeous. I'm like, what? Arnold had been terrified of getting me pregnant the entire 8 months, and now he's talking about me having his kids? Yeah, he saw that Bozo was gonna plant his seeds, so he's like, no, no, no. This is this is my plot of land. This is not a good analogy. I'm gonna pull out right now. I get it, pull out. Jesus, what is wrong with these men, lol? As much as I want kids, I want them to have a stable, normal father, and these men are so far from it. I can't say that I don't have my issues, because I do, but I'm working on myself. I just don't understand what the heck this is, where men try to knock up a girl to keep her, basically. TLDR, finally at the end. Is men trying to knock a girl up so she stays the new normal? I don't think that's ever gonna be normal. I'm sorry you've had this experience. There is that saying about not sticking your knob in crazy and stuff. Well, how about not letting crazy stick its knob in you? There might be something subconscious that attracts OP to people like this. I'm not really sure what's going on. As far as I'm concerned, yeah. You say a lot of weird stuff in the heat of the moment, you know?
One time I called this girl mom.
Let's see what the comments has to say. Probably everybody agrees, like, hey, that's not a nice thing to do. Unwanted pregnancies. But Taco Spaceman 2 says, that's so freaking cuckoo bonkers bananas, man. Whoa! Those aren't just red flags. They are whole scarlet banners. Go find guy C, who is kind and won't take advantage of you. Yeah, kind, that's what the C stands for. OP says, oh, don't worry. I'm running away as fast as my little legs can take me.
Run.
Never in my life have I thought to encounter this. I mean, nobody makes plans like this. You don't sit down and go, hey, I'm gonna date a weirdo with a prego interest. But sometimes things like this happen. I think you have to decide whether that sort of baggage is worth it. And with these dudes, no, it's definitely not worth it. You're obviously not respecting boundaries, and that's the biggest thing when it comes to a relationship. So good, run and keep running. Deleted user says, Jesus Christ, I don't get people. Bringing a whole life into the world just to keep your relationship going is one of the scummiest things that someone can do. Yes, certainly this will save the marriage. Things will get so much easier once the baby is born. I think that these type of people are just completely detached from reality. I don't know what is going through their mind. I wish I could just laugh and it was completely funny, but I do feel bad for the hypothetical children. Not a Mazda says, bruh, stop seeing these dudes and see ones whose values are more aligned with yours. OP comes in and says, lol, don't worry, I'm taking a hiatus from men now. Well, yeah, I guess that'll solve the whole reproduction thing, won't it? Sure, yeah, we got it, son. BLunar00 says this isn't the new normal. This is a form of abuse called reproductive coercion. If they get you to have their kid, they can exert some form of control over your life for a minimum of 18 years. So run the hell away from any dude who shows this type of tendency. And then OP says, I really find the gems, don't I? See, that's what I'm saying. I don't think this is just coincidence. This is a pattern after 2 dudes. Tell me what happens with dudes 3 and 4. And then at a certain point, this is just a thing that you're gonna need to unpack with your therapist. I don't know. Yes, the dude's definitely scummy. I'm not trying to pin any of that on OP. But if you see a pattern of behavior that you're looking to break away from, I mean, it might be worth discussing with a mental health professional. And I think that PSA is a good place to leave it for the day. So thank you guys so much for watching from r/DatingHell. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, like, comment, sub, maybe share it around if you're really brave and you know somebody who wants to hear about bed bugs and tiny stinky wieners. Check out the links in the description as well. Many social medias down there, TikTok, Twitter, Discord, etc., etc. Teespring merch, hey, maybe, if you want. You can also support me on Patreon or the YouTube channel memberships. I appreciate both of those. If you can't do it, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming through, hanging out with me. I hope you'll come on back, hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there. Wash your hands, you know. And of course, always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely, definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.
It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.